Hey everyone, I'm Kate Kennedy and I'm here with day 78 of 100 Days of Kane, PA. And I think you guys all know that a new superintendent started in the Kane School District about 2 months ago. His name is Brock Benson, and we're going to talk with him today. And he has some stories to share about his Kane connection that goes way back, and also about what he loves about being in this town and working in this town, and what he's looking forward to this school year. So I'm going to go ahead and flip you around here, and we'll walk on in and say hello. Hey, Mr. Benson, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Kate?
Good. Hey, thank you so much for your time today. We're really looking forward to hearing some of your stories. So let's go ahead and start with, well, first of all, welcome. Thank you so much for serving as the superintendent here in Kane. And I know you've been on the job 2 months.
Correct.
But you have some stories that predate your time in this position as far as your connection to Kane. So let's go ahead and start with, where did you grow up? What school district did you graduate from?
Well, actually not too far from here, but actually I graduated from Oswego Valley School District, which is about an hour, northeast from here.
Okay.
So that was 1994, and so I grew up there. Actually, I like to tell everybody I grew up in the suburbs of Shingle House, which is, Ceres Township, which is actually in McKean County.
Very
so actually,
tiny.
Yeah, very, very, very small. But, had a wonderful childhood over there. Probably wasn't a lot unlike growing up in Kane, other than actually it's just smaller. But so graduated from there, and then I went to SUNY College of Buffalo, got my bachelor's degree. Actually went back to Oswego Valley as a teacher and taught there. Served as advisor, coached a bunch of sports teams from basketball, golf. I coached American Legion at one point, baseball. And I was there. I enjoyed my time there, but I really wanted to be an administrator. I wanted to be a principal at that point, so I started working on that. Went to Duquesne University and received my master's degree in administrative.
So you did that while you were working?
Yes, actually, at one point, that's a good question. At one point, I coached 2 sports teams, taught full time. Our oldest son, my son was born, and I took 30 grad credits in one 12-month span.
And you lived to tell.
And I lived to tell about it. So yes, that was a busy time.
Yeah.
So and shortly thereafter, I was hired in Bradford as a middle school assistant principal, which I served over there until 2009, and then was fortunate enough to get hired down in Johnsonburg, and I spent the last decade down there serving as a high school principal. So, not right in Kane, but certainly all around. Exactly. So I'm very familiar with the town. Obviously, I've been a lifelong resident of McKean County, and so I'm pretty well versed in what it's like.
Yeah, well, we're so glad that you're here as superintendent. And one of the things I think that's really neat is that even though you've never been in our school district before, right, you have some connections that go way back, some of them even back generations. Would you share that story with us?
Sure. Actually, that's a pretty interesting story. So obviously General Kane founded the town here, which I was well aware of before I was hired here. But actually in our administrative office, we have a framed handwritten letter from General Kane, and he's probably most famous for the battle, second day of Gettysburg on July 2nd, 1863. And so I guess the interesting, connection we would have is one of my ancestors was John Benson, was his name, from Ceres Township, McKean County, and he was part of the 150th PA Volunteers, and he actually was killed on July 1st in Gettysburg.
Wow.
In 1863.
So he served with General Kane.
Yeah, I mean he was in Company G. Like I said, he was killed on the first day, so I'm not, I haven't dug into all the research as far as the interaction, but he definitely, like I said, he was in the Bucktails and was killed that first day, which is right before, obviously, the big battle of that General Kane is famous for.
Yeah, that's such a cool connection.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And then you also personally have some memories and stories to share about growing up and sports in Kane.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the first main interaction I had was a kid. Obviously growing up in Shingle House, it's not exactly a metropolis, and there isn't a whole lot going on. So it's a baseball town. Baseball was always a big deal when I was a kid, and so I played all the way up through. And I remember when I was I want to say I was probably 15. I think I was 15. That league was called Babe Ruth. It was a Babe Ruth league back then. Now it's senior league. But there was an East and a West, and we had a very good team, and we won the Eastern Division. Kane also had a very good team. They won the Western Division. And actually that year they came, we played like the final in Shingle House for the title, the league title. And we were fortunate enough to win that year. So we actually beat Kane that year. And so when I got this job, I was just looking through, some of the names, not only students, but staff members. And I still can remember the names of the people we played against, like the Marconis and Taganis, Johnsons, even our school solicitor now, Chris Byam, was a pitcher on that team.
Yeah.
So I was talking to him about that actually earlier, about a month ago, and he was quick to point out to me that the next year Kane destroyed Shingle House. And I just said, hey, well, I'd moved up by then. So
well, obviously, yes.
But he was very quick to point that out. And then actually it was just interesting because they were very good. I mean, very good. And the next level up would be Legion, and we also had a good team then, and they were also excellent. So I just remember playing down to Glenwood Park, coming over here, and actually then that was always the big deal too. We would stop in Mount Jewett at the ice cream place. I think it was Bob and Mary's.
Bob and Mary's,
yeah, they'd give you like a gallon of ice cream.
Right, on one cone.
Yeah, exactly. So that was always the highlight too. It's like on the way back, we get to stop there. So,
yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. What a great memory. And then did you have any other sports that you played?
Yeah, I did. I played basketball, and actually that's a more of a sad story. But actually, my high school basketball career, we didn't play Kane, but I want to say second round of districts my senior year. Kane always hosts a lot of district events because they're very centrally located in District 9 for a lot of schools, and so we actually got beat on the high school floor here.
Oh.
Kane. So I remember the long drive back. Afterwards,
it was
like it was over. That was the last hurrah for basketball. Yeah. Yep.
So some good memories and some sadder memories of your time in Kane here.
Yeah, take the good with the bad, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, you've been in this job now for 2 months. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to know, what are some things that you've noticed about our town, about Kane, that have stood out to you?
Well, probably the first thing that I noticed, and I actually mentioned this in my first board report in July, was just how much pride the residents have in the town and in the school district. I mean, they are proud Kane Wolves, and they
Yes.
It's just obvious. Everybody I meet, not only the staff and the teachers and the kids, but the community members. I mean, you go out and they're very proud of the school district and the town. And,
is there any example that you have of a time that really stood out to you?
Well, obviously in various conversations, but we had meet the team night a couple weeks ago at the high school, and this is the first district I've actually been in. At the end, they finished with the alma mater. Everybody in the gym knew the alma mater, and at one point towards the end, they were all stomping on the bleachers in unison. I can tell you that is not that's not the normal course of events. Most places you go to, they don't know what the alma mater is, and so it's just. I remember looking around thinking, wow, folks are really into this.
Yes.
Yeah, and very proud.
We're going to come back at the end of the year and see if you have the words and the stomps down appropriately.
I know. I've already started working on that. I'm not going to say I'll sing it, but I'll at least know the words.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a great example. Is there anything else that you've noticed about our town that has stood out to you?
I think the town itself. One of the things, even before I was hired here, over the last year and a half, people have been talking about Kane and what's going on up here. A lot of communities talk about revitalization and things like that. I mean, that's a common theme in just about every town, borough, city. But actually, Kane is doing something. Like, you can see tangible results. This is kind of becoming a destination, folks, for folks to go, whether you want to go out to eat, some, entertainment. Kane is starting to be known for that. Yeah. And like I said, I even before I came here, that was something. It's like, what are you doing? I think we're going to go up to Kane this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's really, really nice to see.
Yeah, it's good to hear too. That's awesome. What else? Anything about like the people in the community, the alumni?
Well, I tell you, in preparation, I knew we were going to have this conversation, so I was just reviewing. I spent some time, and by the way, unbelievable job on this 100 Days of Kane in the video. I'm serious. Just kudos for that. It's a wonderful project, wonderful endeavor.
And people are doing an awesome job.
Well, it's been very educational, to be honest with you. I've learned a lot about the people in the town. But I think the other thing that I've noticed, not only in watching those, but just interacting with people, just the parents, the small business owners that I've met, I think that probably the most accurate metric in evaluating a school district is what do the alumni do afterwards. I think that's really, that's what we're trying to produce is quality Americans, good hardworking Americans. And I think, from professions, people that went on, been very successful, nationally renowned in different professions, to just the blue collar folks that get up and go to work every day and do a great job. I think Kane has obviously been very successful, and that's something that we certainly hope to continue. But it's towns like this that are really special, and I think that make America go round.
Yeah, and I think we were talking earlier, and one of the things that you said that I thought was great was like, oftentimes people introduce themselves to you in reference to the year they graduated high school.
They do. I don't know how many times I've been, hey, I just want good luck up there. I'm a 1984 graduate. I'm wishing nothing but, yeah, exactly. That's another thing. I don't know how many times that's happened to me.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that, this pride that's connected
Sure.
to the school and being a graduate of Kane High School.
Yeah, it's very,
deep.
very evident, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are you looking forward to this school year?
Well, obviously the first year, it's just, it's getting to know everybody and putting a name to the face and things like that. But, some goals that we have, obviously in today's day and age, school safety is number one. And that's really probably my biggest goal. Kane's been very proactive already in that. And that's a testament to the previous administrators and staff and board, where there's a lot of things already in place, but we're continuing to really improve on things. We're going to putting a new security system in the high school this year. Security cameras outside the building. Once that project's completed, we're going to be focusing on this campus down here in the middle school and the elementary school. We installed security screens over all the door windows in both buildings. That's been done. The Raptor system for visitor identification was installed last year. And we're just constantly looking at ways to enhance security. It is the world we live in, and it's not the most pleasant topic to discuss, but it's something obviously of paramount importance. So
really important.
Yeah, that's something that we're really focusing on. And then obviously it's continuing to provide opportunity for the kids. I think we need to just sit down and have a sobering look at our data as far as our assessment data and our outcomes, and say, okay, what are the strengths? What are areas that we can improve on, and how can we do that? And then I think also we want to make sure that we're providing multiple pathways for students as they go through this system and go out into the world and become those successful residents that we want them to be. That whether they want to go to college, that we're adequately preparing them for that. We're providing them dual enrollment credits and AP opportunities. But I think it's important not to just pigeonhole everybody into that path, because you don't have to have a 4-year degree to be successful in this world. And so we have a wonderful VOAG program at the high school. There are multiple opportunities for kids there. We also are sending students every other day to the Career and Tech Center in Port Allegheny, and they have incredible high quality offerings over there. So our kids are getting exposed to that as well. And they can walk out of there, and they've been well trained, and they can walk into a career, a high paying career, going forward. So I think it's important that we continue to offer multiple pathways for students and their interests.
Yeah, there's so many options, and the kids are all different. So to figure out what matches with what kid is really important. And yeah, that's a variety of things you're thinking about going into the school year, and are really excited for you to go ahead and go forth with that. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we wrap up today?
No, I just want to say how humbled I am just to be asked to be part of this. Like I said, I think one of the, unique perspectives I can offer is, I'm relatively new here. So, I can tell you just the high quality people, the passion that people have for Kane is evident, and I'm just excited to be a part of it going forward.
Yeah, well, welcome to being a Kane Wolf. We're really glad that you're here, and thank you so much for your time today.
All right, thank you much.
All right, everyone. That was such a great interview. Isn't it exciting to know that our new superintendent has some history here as well? I loved hearing those stories going the whole way back to Gettysburg and the Bucktails with General Kane, to his time in the sports teams, playing our sports teams here. It was just a great interview. I'm so excited for the school year for him, and I know you guys are too. So will you take a minute and in the comments of this video, please write a welcome to our new superintendent, Mr. Benson. Make sure that he feels supported and encouraged as he takes on this position as superintendent, overseeing the school district here in Kane. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 79.